The following program is a production of HEW Entertainment, heard on the official website of HEW Entertainment. It's that time once again for HEW Entertainment Radio.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Hosted by Jonathan Clarke.
To beat the man, you gotta beat the man. Whoa!
Be sure to join us in the live chat room during the show.
Hulkamania is running wild like it's never ran before.
Call us on one of our request lines. If you live in the United States, call us at 1-641-985-7800, box number 3729280. If you're from Canada and would like to call us from 1-647-724-4194, box number 3729280. Long distance charges may apply in some areas.
I've been the world heavyweight champion 10 times.
Or you can always drop us a line at MySpace, myspace.com/HEW Entertainment.
And you will rest in peace.
Emailing us works for you too. Email us HEWWrestling@hotmail.com.
I am a wrestling god. JBL.
And now, without any further ado, here is your host of HEW Entertainment Radio on the official website of HEW Entertainment, Jonathan Clarke.
The champ is here!
Welcome back to my show for the 75th edition of the program. Chris Adonis, you've been here several times. How you doing, Chris?
Doing good. Thanks, John.
No problem. I understand you had this show coming up on Christmas first off, and it's going to be actually for Toys for Tots, right?
It's right before Christmas. It's Saturday, December 17th. I believe that's the date. It's called Was the Fight Before Christmas, and we're going to be accepting toys for Tots.
Right. Were you the one that came up with that idea, or did it just get presented to you by some fan or some member of your company?
It was a upper office management type deal. It was me and a couple key other guys. We did it something like that set up for last year for the show, and decided to do it again this year.
I find that very unique about a lot of the independent promoters and companies, you know, how they're all for charity and stuff, especially where they don't make a whole lot on the independents. That's amazing. That's great.
I think we're going to have a pretty good draw for this show. We're actually doing it at an OBI building. OBI is a company that gets jobs for mentally challenged individuals and, you know, provides them with that service. They have a large building on their property, so we're going to probably have discounted tickets. We've done it with them in the past where we've actually had them come to our shows, discounted ticket prices.
How many?
So they can enjoy the show and then, you know, something else to do after they get off work. But so we're in partnership with them for this.
Yeah.
They're going to make a little bit of money for their company serving the food, and we're going to put on, you know, an ACW show, which is the best in Maryland.
How many are you expecting?
Oh, we think we could easily draw at least 300 for this show.
Yeah, and 300 is a good crowd for the independents. I've said that time and time again. Do you agree?
And we've lowered our ticket prices for this show to $10 and $15,
right,
respectively. So.
Right. So generally, like, how much would it cost to get into an ACW show? Just to give everybody an idea here.
$15 general admission, $20 front row is what our prices have been from just about the beginning. But we're going to drop them for $5 for each. So it'll be $10 for general admission and $15 for front row.
Yeah, and I've interviewed you several times, and speaking from interviewing you, you have some pretty well-known names, so $10 is a pretty good bargain to get into an independent show featuring the names that you bring in, because you bring in some pretty established names, you know?
Well, and not just with the established names, but and we have guys like Shane Douglas, who was with us for a year, the first ever ACW champion, and we have Shelton Benjamin and the Rock and Roll Express, and then the list goes on and on. But then we have some of the top independent names on the East Coast, guys like Ryan McBride, who's the current ACW heavyweight champion, Princeton Pike, and guys like Chris Wilde, and Pretty Ugly, one of the best tag teams on the East Coast, and then the up-and-coming the ACW tag team champions, the Hellcats, TAC. So you have guys like this that, them alone can draw, and they just excel at what they're doing right now. And I'm really proud of ACW because a lot of guys that work for me weren't getting a lot of bookings elsewhere, and I think because of their exposure and my eye and Jimmy Morris's eye for being able to see guys that for what they are and the talent that they have, then other promoters caught on and they're getting other work because this is independent wrestling. So want to get out there as much as possible.
Right, definitely. And of course, Jimmy Morris is still working with your company, better known as Jimmy Dream. Are you still getting along with those guys?
Oh, absolutely. Jimmy Dream and Adam Ugly, I consider them two of my best friends in the business.
Right, and they're great. They're a bit of fun, and then that's the thing. These independent wrestlers, alone the big names, that bring a bit of fun to the show. I had the privilege of interviewing the Rock and Roll Express's Ricky Morton several months ago, and he was a barrel of fun. Is it fun working with Ricky Morton?
Ricky is a funny guy. I mean, he's just one of those guys that when he's in the locker room, you just shut up and listen, and he tells you the funny stories, and then he kind of tells you, he watches over the matches, and then he gives you some pointers on what you're doing, and if he likes you, he tells you. Pretty Ugly and Rock and Roll Express had a really good match. It was our second show that we ever had, and I thought it was really cool for Jimmy and Adam to actually go out there and have a good championship match with them. Not only pull off the victory, but then afterwards have the Rock and Roll Express, one of the best tag teams in the history of the business, put them over for their gimmick, put them over for their in-ring work, and their psychology. It was just, I was really proud of my guys for that.
Speaking about the independent wrestlers, I recently read an article, and I'm going to run it by you here, and I think this is a pile of shit, just for the record. Ring of Honor was just recently had one of their talents signed by WWE, and that puts me in mind of how WWE are overshadowing and overlooking other companies like your own and a number of other companies that I've had the privilege of working with, especially for this Toys for Tots deal every year. Do you think it's a pile of shit how they kind of, overlook a lot of the independent companies and just focus?
Well, yes, they do look over the independent, but on the same token with Ring of Honor, because Ring of Honor, I like Ring of Honor. I have nothing against Ring of Honor. I actually enjoy their shows. They're just, they're an independent company just like mine. They're just got a little bit more money, and one of the good things about Ring of Honor being so close to where we're from Maryland, and Ring of Honor is centered in Philly. A lot of our guys have gone on to Ring of Honor. Well, not a lot, but a few of them. And guys like Adam Cole, who's a Ring of Honor guy now, and he just, recently faced Ryan McBride for the ACW Championship here in Pennsylvania at another promotion. So it was kind of cool to have Adam come back from Ring of Honor and get a shot at the title, and it was really cool to actually have our title defended at another promotion as well.
Right.
But to get back to the question, I mean, they do. They overlook a lot of indie feds, and it's just the way they've done business for the last 20 years now. So I don't think it's going to change. But
I just
that's another work. Come pay that $1,000 or whatever to come down to and get looked at in Florida. But that's just the nature of the beast, I guess.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. I just recently spoke with Gary Silkin about that whole CM Punk angle, and I think that Ring of Honor are full of their own shit by the way they talk about themselves. They get mentioned on WWE television. Then you have these other phenomenal independent companies that don't get mentioned at all. And I think it's a pack of shit. I really do.
I think that the WWE dropped the ball on what could have been a fantastic angle. If I was on the booking committee, which there's a million armchair bookers out there. But I would have had CM Punk win the title. Great. But now that they're using Ring of Honor as another plucking point for some of their talent, why not have CM Punk have a little stint in Ring of Honor? Why not have, John Cena show up at a Ring of Honor show?
Exactly.
After he got fired, show up at a Ring of Honor show and then chase CM Punk out the building. Why not have CM Punk, and this is something that WWE's never, that's unheard of, why not have CM Punk take indie bookings?
Exactly.
Why not, and have Cena just happen to show up out of nowhere at an independent show?
Exactly.
Chasing that title. They could have done that for 6 months.
And why
They squashed it in 1 week.
And why in the fuck isn't
That would have been
Cena
the
there?
biggest angle in the history of that company.
And they ruined it. That's the thing. I mean, CM Punk, he had a fantastic gimmick going for himself. Now he's basically feuding with Kevin Nash. That's, I don't understand.
Which kind of got kiboshed a little bit, as we speak right now. The pay-per-view's on. But I think I think that Kevin Nash is going to interfere at the end of the match.
He's going to have
He'll probably make it a 3-way at the next pay-per-view at Survivor Series.
Yeah. And what the fans have to realize is that probably the reason why he hasn't wrestled in this match is because you go back to when Sabrina the Teenage Witch was on in its inaugural season. He was on the inaugural season of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. That gives you an idea of how old that guy actually is.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't yesterday. That was back in, 1997?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't expect Kevin Nash to work at 110% at, 57 years of age now?
Well, Kevin Nash is a great guy, but, he has always had those knee problems and things like that. But I think it's weird how WWE doesn't do it nearly as much.